Charlie Hurt joins me now. Charlie, great to see you, my friend. Okay, so just 3 days, in 3 days, Trump's already giving exclusive one-on-one interviews. They're in-depth. He's answering questions from reporters, and not just friendly reporters. I mean, how big of a contrast is this to the past 4 years?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever quite seen a contrast like this ever before. It's extraordinary. And obviously, voters voted for Donald Trump because of those solvable, his ideas and his common sense solutions to these problems. But the other thing that we get is a far more open president who is already answered more questions probably in the past 24, 48 hours than Joe Biden did in the past year. But he's not just answering questions. He's actually, as you point out, as Lauren pointed out, he's actually sitting down and engaging with people and having thoughtful, substantive back and forths about these policies. And it's such a breath of fresh air. And, whether you like it or not, we live in a country where we get to pick our president and we know who is in charge. And for 4 years, I don't think we actually even knew who was in charge. We don't really know who was making all these decisions. Now, nobody doubts who's in charge. Nobody doubts who is making these decisions, and he's defending them openly.
You make such a good point there. It's not just that he's taking questions, because you could take questions and then just give one of those non-answers. Yeah. He'll take a question, and then he'll delve in for like 5 minutes and walk through the data. To me, that's not just doing your job, but it's a respectfulness thing. Like, I'm going to take this seriously. You want to go at this? Let's go at this. Charlie, that to me is the above and beyond of what Trump's doing right now.
Yeah, and sometimes he does that to his detriment, because he winds up, that's where you sort of get into the weeds and you get into trouble and you say more than what most politicians want to say. But I think this is what Donald Trump is. He's a total rejection of political speak and the way politicians do things. He doesn't do that. He just talks to people and he answers questions, and he even sort of muses publicly sometimes, which for my money makes for the best answers.
I agree, and I'm willing to take a little bit of the weave if it's going to actually give you a real answer. But I got to get to this one, Charlie.
He does like the weave.
Yeah, right. So Trump is telling private companies to, this is interesting, end illegal DEI policies. And he's threatening investigations. So, he's doing a lot of this in the federal government. Now he's talking to private companies. How do you think they're going to respond to this?
From my observations, it does seem like there's an entire new tenor, both obviously inside the federal government, but also everywhere else. You see these tech CEOs coming to bend the knee for Trump, just because he's in power, but also because he recognizes where the country is, and the country is sick of this crap. And one thing that we've sort of forgotten to talk about enough is the fact that these DEI policies are race-based. It is against everything that we as a country believe in. It's against everything that all the accomplishments we've made over the past 40, 50 years about making the country a more colorblind society is completely reversed by the DEI stuff. Either you're judged by your merit and your character, or you're judged by your skin color. And these people want to drag America into this dystopia where people are all judged by their skin color, and we've rejected that as a country, and Donald Trump is rejecting it again. And so I think that companies recognize that the country is done with this stuff, and they want to go back to judging people by the content of their character and their abilities.
It's such a good point, and he's one of these guys who creates the space for people to do that. You know what? It's okay now to go back to the thing we all agreed on and that we like better. Charlie,
he's a leader.
Great stuff, sir. Good to see you. And by the way, we'll be watching you on Fox and Friends Weekend. Congrats on that new job, by the way. Every Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. He's not so good at Zumba in the morning. I do know that, but he's very good at hosting that show. Great stuff, Charlie.